Hi, my name is Kate Donovan, and I'm your friendly, funny, and no blame burnout expert. Today, I want to talk to you about burnout being a mismatch issue, not a people issue, not a leadership issue, not a system issue, just a mismatch issue. Before I totally dive into that, the reason that I came to this conclusion over time is because I've seen the pattern happen over and over and over again. I have spoken to thousands of burnt out people, produced almost 350 podcast episodes on the topic. I have done this topic to death. And let me tell you, it's never just one thing. It's usually a multitude of things, and it's usually a mismatch that happens in various areas of life. And when I say mismatch, what do I mean? When I'm talking about mismatch, what I'm talking about are all of the things in your world, whether you're a leader or an individual contributor, a team member, or just a person who found this video on the internet, just a human is good enough for me. When I say mismatch, what I mean is this space that all of us know. We all know what this feels like, we know what this looks like. The space between the life that we want to live and the life that we're living. This is most obvious, mismatch is most obvious when we have a life that looks good on paper. We have a job that looks good on paper. We work for a company that looks good on paper. But yet something's not quite right. And because we live in a time that is full of contention, this mismatch is often described as toxic, which is incorrect. It's often sets us up for a lot of blame and finger pointing, which I find a lot of the burnout work does. Burnout work is either telling leadership in the organization that they're doing things wrong or telling individuals that they're doing things wrong. And I think both of those options are incorrect. I don't really think we're doing too many things wrong. I think we're just agreeing to things that don't actually match with us, with the needs that we have, with the company's needs, etc. So, this mismatch space is the space between what we truly want and the things we think we have to put up with instead, right? It's that space between what looks good on paper and what feels good in real life. And there's no morality to it, there's no finger pointing to do, there's no blame to put out there. A mismatch is just a mismatch. So, as a leadership tool, when we're looking for mismatches in the workplace, we can look in 6 very concrete places. Those are the burnout causes that have been researched to death by people like Christina Maslach, Michael Leader, and Willem Schauffele. And those things are workload, right? Different people can do different workloads. It has to match, it has to align. Autonomy levels. This one is really interesting to me because in the autonomy levels research, there's a ton of research that just says more autonomy makes people happier at work. And then there's like some 2 or 3 outlier pieces of research that say, yeah, but if you give everyone the same amount and it's really kind of overdone, then some people get uncomfortable because not everyone wants that much autonomy that's matched with that much responsibility. So the interesting part is that we're doing all of these things in the workplace to improve trust and psychological safety and autonomy, but we're not asking and we're not looking for how we match the needs of the people that are actually in the company. We're looking for overall solutions that, frankly, are not working the way we want them to. And it is not possible, just to be clear, to match a company's needs and every single individual that works at that company's needs at once. That's not what we're going for. What we're going for most of the time is a pretty good, sort of close, good enough match. Pretty sort of good, sort of good. As long as it's good enough, a good enough sort of match. I'm going for like a C here. We're going for 75%. If we can line up most things for each person, then the things that don't line up are easier to manage. So in the workplace, like I said, it's workload, autonomy, recognition style. It's, my brain just went blank. I do know these things. It's values between the company and the people that work there. It's fairness. And there's one other one. Not important. All these different places have things that match and mismatch, But all of those things, all of those matches and mismatches will be different for every single person that works at your company. So what you're trying to do as often as possible is align job roles with personalities and people that match them. So for instance, I'll tell you a little story. I just recently did Susie Welch's Becoming You, Not Becoming You. I did the Values Bridge exercise. Is the best values exercise I've ever done in my life. And for the majority of my career, I have worked one-on-one with people. I've done over 30,000 acupuncture treatments in my career, and I've done a ton of one-on-one coaching over the years. I've coached people through burnout, through writing their keynote speeches, through speaking on stage, and all sorts of things. I have been judging myself for over a decade for the fact that acupuncture wasn't a fulfilling job for me. Because what I claim to value and what I claim to need is to impact people's lives, to help people. And I do want to help people. But when I did the values exercise, what I learned was that the way that I want to impact the world is on a larger scale. So I have this desire to, thus the podcast, thus the books, thus the, right? I have the desire to be on stages, make big impact, talk to a lot of people at once. And there's another value on her list that talks about how much we want to help individual people at a time. Now, again, if you read the research, as soon as you help somebody, you feel better in life. The more you give, the more fulfilled you feel. Here's the thing, folks. That's not a match for everybody, and it's not a match for me. But I thought that it should be because it feels somehow wrong to me that I shouldn't feel fulfilled when I'm helping people one-on-one, right? That shouldn't give me all the joy and pleasure in the world. And I do like to do it when it's not the majority of my work. If I'm doing 40 keynotes a year and I have 2 executive coaching clients, I'm thrilled. That's a really good balance for me. But if I had 40 executive coaching clients and 2 keynotes a year, that would be a really bad balance for me. Now, the thing about mismatch that I think is so important is that, again, there's no morality attached to it. It's not bad or good, it's neutral. It's just, does this match or does it not match? And when you look at chronic stress, in every single bucket that chronic stress can pile up in work and family and culture, in environment, in all the different places it can shift, in every single place, the friction that causes stress is a mismatch. So your stress hormones can go super high with certain types of exercise, especially if that exercise isn't one that you like, isn't one that matches you, isn't one that works for you. So instead of trying to create these blanket solutions that are supposed to apply to at least the slight majority of people, which they don't, our job should be to increase match as often as possible for as many people as possible. And like I said, it's never going to be perfect. We are never getting to 100% for anyone at all. And what people need and what matches for them will shift with different periods of their lives. A brand new worker is going to be different than a brand new parent, is going to be different than someone who's caretaking their parents. Things will shift over time. But my ask is that we stop placing blame and stop creating extra friction between people by trying to find a fault somewhere, and start working towards answering the question, is this a match or is this a mismatch? Again, I'm Kate Donovan, your friendly and sometimes funny burnout expert, and I love doing this so much. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please share it, like, subscribe, comment, do all the things that we all know that we need to do to push work forward in this world.